Imagine walking into a cafe you've never been to, and sitting beside you is someone who ends up changing your life. Imagine scrolling through your phone late at night, only to receive a message that brings clarity when you need it most. Imagine meeting someone by accident, yet somehow it feels like you've known them forever. Why do certain people enter our lives exactly when they do? Why do we cross paths with some only for a brief moment, while others stay for years, shaping who we are? Is it all just chance, or is there something deeper at play? Think about the people you've met over the years. Some brought joy, some brought pain, but all left something behind. What if those meetings weren't coincidences at all? What if they were moments designed to teach, to heal, to awaken something in you that was waiting all along? Take, for example, the stranger who gave you advice at a time you felt lost. You may never see them again, yet their words stayed with you. Was that luck, or something greater working quietly behind the scenes? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a space created to explore life's deeper questions with the calm clarity of Buddhist wisdom. If you've ever wondered why people appear in your life at certain times, you're in the right place. We're diving deep into the spiritual fabric that binds us. If this speaks to you, take a moment, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, comment your thoughts below, and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world, and your voice belongs here. Buddhism teaches that every meeting is a result of past causes. Nothing and no one enters your life without meaning. This idea isn't just spiritual, it's deeply practical. It gives comfort when we lose someone, and it gives perspective when we meet someone new. Karma, in its simplest form, is the law of cause and effect. But it's not punishment or reward. It's movement. It's connection. It's the unfolding of seeds planted long before we ever met the person standing in front of us. In the eyes of Buddhism, the people who enter our lives are mirrors, messengers, and sometimes even milestones. They hold up reflections of our inner world, our wounds, our growth, our compassion, and our resistance. Some arrive to awaken kindness, others to test our patience. Some leave quickly, yet the lesson stays. And some never leave, because their presence is bound to our journey in deeper ways. This understanding softens judgment. We stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" Each person becomes a path, not a distraction. Even painful connections hold power. According to Buddhist thought, difficult people often play the most important roles. They challenge the ego. They reveal attachments. They force us to grow. And the timing, it matters. Encounters don't just happen. They unfold when we're ready, even if it doesn't feel that way. The universe, through karma, knows when to bring a soul into our orbit. When we begin to see people not as random passers-by, but as spiritual companions, whether fleeting or lasting, we open the door to a more peaceful life. Nothing is wasted. No one is here by accident. So the next time you meet someone unexpected, pause. Consider what brought you both to that moment. Ask what the lesson might be. Because in truth, it's not coincidence. It's the quiet rhythm of a universe that never makes a mistake. In your life, like every person in it, is unfolding exactly as it should. Imagine, if you will, that your life is like a vast river flowing quietly, winding through valleys and mountains. Along this river, many streams join in, each bringing with them their own waters. Some streams flow swiftly, others more gently. All of them change the river's course, its depth, and its character. Now think about the people you meet in your life. They're like those streams. Some merge with your river for a long time, others just for a brief moment. But every one of them changes the water, shifts the flow, even if just a little. How is it that some people feel familiar, even if you have just met? Why do some relationships carry a weight, a feeling, as if you have known each other before? In Buddhist teachings, there's a concept called karma, which is often misunderstood. Karma is not fate or punishment. It is more like a seed planted in the past, waiting patiently for the right conditions to sprout. These seeds can come from this life or from lives long ago. When those seeds grow, they bring experiences, people, situations, feelings that appear before us like gifts or challenges. This means that when someone walks into your life, they may not be just a stranger or a coincidence. They might be connected to you through many lifetimes. Perhaps you shared joy or pain with them before. Maybe you promised to meet again, to help each other grow, or to learn important lessons together. Think of two trees growing side by side in a forest. Their roots intertwine beneath the soil, unseen but deeply connected. The branches above might sway apart in different directions, but below, there's a hidden bond. So it is with souls that meet again, time after time. Beneath the surface of this life, past connections live quietly, waiting to be recognized. When a person enters your life suddenly, with no clear reason, it may be that their soul has come to settle something left unfinished. Maybe forgiveness needs to be given, or a truth needs to be spoken. Sometimes, a person appears to help you heal old wounds you did not realize you carried. Other times, you are there to guide them, to offer kindness where they need it most. Because of this, it is not surprising that some relationships are very intense. They can bring deep joy or profound pain. But even the pain carries meaning. It is a sign that something important is unfolding, a part of your karmic journey. When you feel frustration or hurt from someone close, try to see beyond the surface. Ask yourself, what is this relationship teaching me? What can I learn? This question opens the door to understanding. It transforms suffering into wisdom. You do not have to hold on to anger or blame. Instead, practice compassion, first for yourself and then for the other person. Recognize that their presence in your life is part of a larger story, one that stretches beyond this moment, beyond this lifetime. Sometimes, you will meet someone who triggers old fears or patterns. These meetings can feel like a test, a mirror held up to your soul. It is not easy, but it is necessary. Growth often comes through discomfort. As a Zen master, I tell you this: do not fear these encounters. Welcome them with openness. Even if the memories or feelings seem confusing, trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it should. Every person, every moment, is a thread woven into the fabric of your being. You may also notice that some people seem to reappear in different forms throughout your life. Perhaps a colleague, a friend, or a stranger reminds you of someone important from long ago. This is the echo of karma at work. Patterns repeating until lessons are learned, until forgiveness is given, until understanding blooms. Life is a continuous dance of meeting and parting. The soul's journey is long and winding. Each meeting is an invitation to awaken more deeply, to remember the connection that goes beyond this life. You might wonder, if past lives influence who I meet, how can I be free to choose? This is an important question. Karma sets the stage, but it does not write the whole script. You are not a prisoner of your past. You have the power to respond with awareness, kindness, and wisdom. In Buddhist thought, freedom is found in understanding. When you see the cause and effect clearly, when you recognize the seeds of your relationships, you can choose how to water them. You can nurture love, patience, and forgiveness, where you can hold on to anger and resentment. The choice is yours. Your awareness is the light that changes everything. Let me share a simple image. Imagine holding a garden in your hands. Some seeds were planted by your own hand. Others came with the soil from places you cannot see. Some seeds are wildflowers, others are weeds. But you hold the power to care for the garden. You decide what grows and what is removed. So it is with your relationships. Recognize the seeds from past lives, but tend them with care in this present moment. When you encounter a difficult person, instead of pushing them away, look closer. What karmic seed might this relationship hold? What opportunity for healing or growth? And when you meet someone who brings joy and peace, cherish that blessing. Know that it is part of your path, given to help you bloom. Remember, no meeting is meaningless. Each connection carries a message from the universe. Even those who stay briefly can change your course forever. As the river flows, it meets many streams. Some join and flow together for a time, others drift apart. But all waters are part of the great ocean. In your life, embrace this flow. Accept the people who come, knowing they bring gifts from places unseen. This understanding brings peace. When you realize that your encounters are not random, but part of a vast, beautiful design, you begin to walk more gently in the world. You become more patient with yourself and with others. You listen more deeply. You respond with more kindness. And slowly your heart opens. This is the way of karma, not a burden, but a path toward awakening. Each person who enters your life is like a teacher, a mirror, a friend, or a challenge sent from the depths of time. And you are here, now, to learn the lessons that will lead you to freedom. So walk your path with awareness, with gratitude for every soul that crosses your way. From the great unfolding of life, there are no accidents. There are only opportunities to awaken, to heal, and to love. Imagine sitting quietly by a calm lake. You look into the water, and you see your reflection staring back. But the reflection is not just your face. It shows your state of mind. If the lake is calm, your reflection is clear. If the wind blows and ripples move, the reflection becomes distorted. The people who enter our lives are like that lake. They mirror back to us what is inside. They reveal parts of ourselves, sometimes things we want to see, sometimes things we resist. Have you ever noticed how certain people trigger strong feelings in you? Maybe irritation, jealousy, or anger. Or perhaps deep admiration, love, or peace. These feelings are not random. They come from what is within you, reflected by the other person. In the teachings of the Buddha, there is no separation between self and other. The boundary we see between me and you is an illusion created by the mind. When we look deeply, we see that others are like mirrors, reflecting back to us our own nature. This reflection is not always comfortable. Sometimes, the mirror shows us our fears, our attachments, or our weaknesses. This is why some people feel like a challenge or a test. They're showing us what we need to face within ourselves. But the mirror can also show us our strengths, our kindness, and our capacity to grow. When we meet someone who makes us feel inspired or peaceful, they reflect the good seeds planted inside us. Imagine a man who meets a harsh, critical person. At first, he feels anger and pain. But if he looks deeper, he might see that this person's harshness is a mirror of his own self-judgment. The critical person shows him where he judges himself too harshly. This realization can be painful, but it can also be healing. On the other hand, a woman who feels joy and warmth in a friend's company is seeing her own kindness and openness reflected back to her. She feels connected because that friend touches a part of her that is loving and free. This is the mirror principle. Every person who comes into our life reflects something about us. Our fears, hopes, wounds, or light. When we understand this, we stop blaming others for how we feel. Instead, we look inward. We ask, what is this person showing me about myself? This is not easy. It takes courage to look honestly. It means accepting all parts of ourselves, even the parts we hide. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we resist what is. When we reject ourselves or others, we create conflict. But when we accept, we find peace. Seeing others as mirrors helps us practice acceptance. When someone makes us angry, instead of reacting, we pause. We ask, what inside me is disturbed by this? What lesson can I learn? This shift transforms our relationships. We become less reactive and more aware. We stop chasing after people to feel good, and we stop pushing away those who challenge us. Imagine a student in meditation. When a thought or feeling arises, the student watches it with calm curiosity, without judgment. The same way, we watch our relationships, seeing what they reveal without rushing to react. Sometimes, the mirror shows us deep wounds, old pain from childhood, betrayal, or loss. These wounds shape how we relate to others. They create fears of being hurt again, so we build walls around our hearts. But the mirror also offers healing. When we recognize these wounds, we can begin to heal them. We learn to be gentle with ourselves. We learn compassion. This is the essence of the mirror principle. It is both a tool for self-awareness and a path to healing. As we grow, we also begin to see that the mirror is not separate from us. The qualities we see in others are part of the vast human experience that we all share. Imagine a garden with many flowers. Each flower is unique, yet they all grow from the same earth. Each person we meet is a flower in the garden of life, different yet connected. When we realize this, our hearts open. We see others not as threats or obstacles, but as companions on the path. This understanding softens anger, dissolves fear, and deepens love. It reminds us that the same light that shines in others shines in us as well. One day, a disciple asked the Zen master, "Master, how can I stop being hurt by others' words?" The master replied, "When the wind blows, the tree bends but does not break. Be like the tree. See the words as the wind, passing without lasting harm. The tree knows its roots are deep. The roots of the tree are like our true self, the part that is unchanging, peaceful, and wise. When we remember our roots, the reflection in the mirror does not disturb us. But to know our roots, we must face the mirror honestly. We must learn from the people who enter our lives, whether they bring joy or pain. Each person is a teacher, reflecting back the lessons we need to learn. The mirror is not just about seeing ourselves, it is about awakening. It asks us to be present, to be aware, and to grow beyond old patterns. When we stop blaming others and start looking within, the quality of our relationships changes. We become more compassionate, more patient, more loving. We learn to love not only others, but also ourselves. In this way, the mirror principle is a gentle but powerful guide. It helps us understand why people come into our lives and what they bring. It reminds us that no meeting is random. No reflection is without meaning. And as we walk this path, we find peace in knowing that every person is part of our journey. Not by chance, but by the invisible threads of connection that bind us all. So when you meet someone today, look for the mirror. See what they show you about your own heart, and welcome that reflection with kindness. For in every face, you will find a piece of yourself. And in every relationship, the chance to awaken more fully to who you truly are. When we walk through life, we meet many people. Some stay with us, some pass by like a breeze, and some leave deep marks on our hearts. From a Zen perspective, every person who crosses our path is part of a grand pattern woven by cause and effect, by karma. None of these meetings are accidents. They come to us with a purpose, though that purpose may not always be clear right away. The Buddha taught us to see life as a river, always flowing, always changing. The people in our life are like stones in that river, some smooth and comforting, some sharp and challenging. Each one shapes the current of our journey. In this flow, the people we meet can be understood as four different kinds, for types who help us in their own unique way. When we understand these types, we begin to see that no encounter is wasted, no relationship meaningless. The first type are those who come to teach us kindness and love. They appear like gentle light in our lives. Sometimes they're family, sometimes friends, sometimes strangers who show us a new way to open our hearts. These people help us practice compassion, not just towards others, but towards ourselves. They remind us of the good that still exists in the world and in our own nature. They teach us how to give without expecting anything back, how to hold someone's hand when the storm is strong. Their presence feels like a balm to the soul. But not every encounter is soft and easy. There are those who come to challenge us, who seem harsh or difficult. They are the second type. These people may upset us or hurt us. They push our buttons and awaken feelings we'd rather avoid. Yet, in their challenge lies a deep lesson. They reflect back to us our hidden fears, our unhealed wounds, our attachments. The Buddha said that suffering is a great teacher, and these challenging people bring suffering in a way that shakes us awake. They force us to see ourselves more clearly. If we allow it, they guide us to let go of old habits and open new doors within ourselves. Their presence is uncomfortable, yes, but also necessary. The third type are those who appear briefly, like a flash of lightning in the dark sky. They enter our lives for a moment and then leave. Sometimes it is a chance meeting on a train, a a quick conversation in a park, or a fleeting connection in a moment of need. Though their time with us is short, their impact can be lasting. They may give us a new idea, a spark of hope, or simply a kind word when we feel alone. These people remind us that every moment matters, that no encounter is too small to hold meaning. The Buddha taught us to be present, to honor the now. These fleeting connections show us how the present moment is full of treasures waiting to be discovered. Finally, there are those rare souls who walk with us for a long time, partners, close friends, mentors. They're the fourth type. Their presence weaves deeply into the fabric of our lives. They share our joys and sorrows, our dreams and fears. They become part of our spiritual journey, companions on the path toward awakening. These relationships require care, patience, and understanding. Just as a gardener tends a tree, nurturing it through seasons, we must nurture these bonds. They teach us about loyalty, forgiveness, and true connection. In Buddhism, this kind of relationship is sacred, not because it is perfect, but because it is real and ever-changing. Through these close ties, we practice letting go and holding on with equal grace. When we learn to recognize these four types, our hearts soften. We stop labeling people as good or bad, friends or enemies. Instead, we see the gifts they bring, even if wrapped in difficulty. Every person who appears on our path is a reflection of the world inside us. They show us where we are kind and where we need to grow. They remind us that life is a great teacher, unfolding lesson after lesson. This understanding invites patience. We no longer rush to push away what is hard or cling desperately to what is easy. Instead, we learn to receive each encounter with openness, with curiosity and gratitude. Each person has something to offer, if only we are willing to listen. Sometimes, it helps to remember the simple image of a garden. Our relationships are like plants. Some bloom quickly and fade. Others take time to grow strong roots. Some need pruning, some need sunlight, some need to be transplanted. The gardener's role is not to control the garden, but to care for it wisely, to honor its natural rhythms. So too, we tend our connections with mindfulness. The Buddha taught that attachment is a cause of suffering. Yet, love and connection are natural and necessary parts of life. The key is to find balance, to love without clinging, to care without controlling, to be present without losing ourselves. Recognizing the four types of people helps us find this balance. We understand when to embrace, when to learn, when to let go. When difficult people come, we can choose to see them as teachers, even if their lessons are hard. When fleeting souls appear, we can cherish their brief presence without grasping. When kind souls stay, we can deepen our gratitude and commitment. When close companions journey with us, we can walk together with compassion and honesty. This wisdom does not erase pain or confusion. It simply offers a way to meet life's twists and turns with calmness and insight. It invites us to trust that every meeting, every farewell, every smile, and every tear is part of a larger unfolding, a tapestry woven by the invisible threads of cause and effect. The Zen path is one of awakening to this truth. It asks us to open our eyes and hearts to the beauty and complexity of human connection, to sit quietly with the knowledge that we are all passing through this world together, learning and growing. So, next time you meet someone new, or even someone familiar, pause. Look deeply. Ask yourself, what type of presence is this? What is this person here to teach me? How can I be present for them in return? By doing this, we live with more awareness and less fear. We let go of the illusion of control and embrace the mystery of life's unfolding. We move from loneliness to belonging, from confusion to clarity. And in that space, we find peace. Lessons in disguise. When painful relationships have purpose, pain touches everyone. It arrives quietly or like a storm, uninvited and unwelcome. Yet in the flow of life, pain is never meaningless. It is not just suffering. It is a teacher wrapped in disguise. When difficult people enter your life, they may feel like burdens, like walls built to block your peace. But what if those walls were there to help you find new doors? What if every challenge was an invitation to look deeper within yourself? In the garden of the mind, pain is the rain that shakes loose old leaves, making space for fresh growth. The discomfort we feel when dealing with difficult relationships is the soil from which wisdom can sprout. Often, the hardest lessons come from the hardest people. Their words may sting, their actions may confuse, but their presence is a mirror. They show us parts of ourselves we try to hide. They reflect fears, anger, and wounds we carry deep inside. It is natural to want to avoid pain. Yet, avoidance only makes the pain grow in silence. Facing it is the first step to transformation. Like a blacksmith forging steel with fire, we are shaped stronger by our trials. Buddhism teaches that suffering is part of life, but it is also a path to awakening. When we meet difficult people, it is an opportunity to practice compassion, not just toward them, but toward ourselves. Why compassion for ourselves? Because pain often awakens feelings of unworthiness or anger. These emotions can trap us in cycles of blame and resentment. Compassion softens those harsh judgments and allows healing to begin. Every encounter is a chance to practice patience and understanding. When someone hurts us, it challenges our ego, the part of us that wants to be right, safe, and comfortable. Letting go of ego is not easy, but it is necessary to find peace. Painful relationships teach us the art of non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean ignoring feelings or pretending everything is fine. It means not clinging to pain or to the identity shaped by suffering. When we learn to see pain as a passing cloud rather than an endless storm, we find freedom. This freedom is the heart of Buddhist practice, to accept what is without resistance or fear. Sometimes, the very people who cause us the most pain are the ones who push us to grow the most. They are unexpected teachers. Their lessons are harsh but profound. They awaken strength, courage, and wisdom. When you feel hurt by someone, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What seed of growth might this pain be planting? This question shifts the focus from victim to student, from suffering to learning. It is also important to recognize the limits of our ability to change others. We cannot control their actions or intentions. We can only control how we respond. In that response lies our power. Practice seeing difficult relationships as opportunities to cultivate inner peace. When you respond with calmness instead of anger, you break the cycle of suffering. You invite harmony into your own heart. Forgiveness is a powerful tool here, not for the other person, but for yourself. Forgiving does not mean forgetting or excusing harm. It means releasing the burden of anger so you can move forward unshackled. In the stillness of meditation, you may find clarity about these relationships. You may see them as passing clouds, part of the sky of your life, but not your whole sky. This perspective brings peace. Remember, even pain has a time to pass. Like the seasons, relationships change. Some remain, some leave. Each serves its purpose in the dance of life. As you walk your path, carry these lessons gently. Be kind to yourself when old wounds reopen. Healing is not a straight line, but a spiral. Sometimes returning to the same place, but each time with more wisdom. The greatest gift from painful relationships is not just survival, but transformation. They can awaken a deeper understanding of yourself and others. They teach humility and empathy. In the quiet moments after conflict, listen carefully. What wisdom whispers in the silence? What new insight is waiting to be born from the pain? To live fully is to embrace both joy and pain. They are two sides of the same coin. Without one, the other loses its meaning. Through pain, we grow. Through growth, we awaken. The Zen way is not to avoid pain, but to meet it with open eyes and a steady heart. In this meeting, you find the truth. You are not your pain, but the one who watches it. And in that watching, there's freedom. There's peace. There's the quiet smile of understanding that says, "This too shall pass, and I will be whole again." So when painful relationships come, welcome them as guests bearing gifts wrapped in difficult lessons. Cherish the chance to grow beyond the limits of comfort. For in these moments, the soul is tested and strengthened. The heart learns to hold space for both light and shadow. This is the way of awakening. This is the path of the wise. Embrace the pain. Learn the lesson. Walk on with a calm and open heart. The journey is not easy, but it is true. And every painful step is a step toward freedom. Imagine, for a moment, that every person you meet is a teacher. Not in the usual way you might think, a teacher with books, lessons, or tests, but a teacher of life, appearing in many forms. Sometimes gentle, sometimes challenging, sometimes a whisper, sometimes a storm, yet always guiding you towards something deeper within yourself. In Zen, we often say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But this teaching goes beyond just a classroom or formal study. It means that when your heart and mind are open, life itself will present you with guides. These guides come not only as wise elders or spiritual friends, but also as strangers, loved ones, even those we find difficult or unpleasant. Why? Because each person is a reflection of your own mind, your own heart. They hold up a mirror, showing you parts of yourself you may not yet see clearly. Sometimes that reflection is beautiful and kind, and sometimes it reveals shadows we have hidden deep inside. Both are necessary. Both are gifts. When you meet someone who brings peace, kindness, and understanding, they teach you the value of compassion and patience. You learn how to be gentle, not just with others, but with yourself. Their presence is like a quiet river, flowing softly, calming the storms within. But what about those who bring discomfort or pain? Those who seem to challenge your patience or stir anger and frustration. They too are teachers. Though their lessons may be harsh, they are no less valuable. Often, these difficult encounters point directly to the places in your heart that need healing. They show you where your attachments, expectations, or fears reside. It is natural to resist or blame others when we feel hurt. But the wise one sees beyond blame. They ask instead, what is this experience showing me? What I need to learn? In this way, every interaction becomes an opportunity for growth. Every person a spiritual companion on your path. A famous Zen story tells of a monk who traveled far and wide, seeking enlightenment. One day, he met a fierce tiger blocking his path. Instead of running away, the monk bowed to the tiger and thanked it for teaching him courage. Like the monk, when you face challenges in relationships, you can choose to see them as lessons rather than obstacles. Sometimes the teachers come quietly through small moments. A smile from a stranger when you're sad. A kind word when you doubt yourself. A shared laugh that lifts your spirit. These simple gifts remind you that kindness is everywhere, and that every soul you meet carries a spark of the divine. Other times, teachers arrive in grand, unforgettable ways, through loss, heartbreak, or deep change. These teachers shake the very foundations of your life, forcing you to awaken to truths you might otherwise ignore. Though the pain may be sharp, the wisdom gained is profound. It is important to remember that the role of teacher and student is not fixed. You are not only a student receiving lessons. You are also a teacher, offering guidance simply by being yourself. Your kindness, your honesty, your presence. All of these teach others in ways you may never fully understand. In Zen, we practice beginner's mind, an openness to each moment as if for the first time. This attitude helps us recognize the teacher in everyone we meet, even when the lesson is difficult. It allows us to listen deeply, without judgment or expectation. When you walk through life with this awareness, your relationships transform. They become less about getting something from others and more about sharing the journey together. You begin to appreciate the role each person plays, knowing that the smallest encounter can have the deepest meaning. Remember, the greatest teacher is often within you. The people around you reflect your inner world back to you, inviting you to explore yourself more fully. Their presence is a call to awaken, to see the unity behind apparent differences, to find peace amid change. So, When you meet someone today, pause for a moment. Look beyond their surface. Ask silently, what can I learn from this person? Approach them with gratitude, whether they bring joy or challenge. Because in every meeting, the universe is offering you a guide, a teacher on the path to your own true nature. Let this understanding soften your heart. Let it ease resentment and fear. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, with exactly the people you need. And in this trust, find freedom. The dance of meeting and parting, teaching and learning, is the rhythm of life itself. Embrace it fully. Walk gently with others, knowing that each step is a lesson and each lesson is a gift. This is the way of Zen. This is the way of awakening through others. Imagine you find yourself walking the same path over and over, meeting the same kind of people again and again. It might feel like a loop, a cycle you cannot escape. The faces may change, but the feelings, the lessons, the struggles, they're familiar. Why is this? Why do some of us seem to attract these same patterns in our relationships? In the stillness of the mind, there is a truth. This repetition is not by chance. It is a reflection of what lives inside. Like a mirror held up to the heart, these repeated encounters reveal what remains unseen, what waits to be understood. We often think it is the other person who causes our pain, confusion, or discomfort. Yet, the Zen way teaches us to look inward, gently, and without blame. When the same type keeps appearing, it is not coincidence. It is a message, an invitation to awaken. What is this type that returns? Perhaps it is the angry friend, the controlling partner, the distant family member, or even the difficult coworker. They come with familiar energy, pushing buttons that have not been soothed. They challenge old wounds and call for healing. Buddhism reminds us that our mind creates patterns. The stories we tell ourselves, the fears we hold, the expectations we build. These shape the world we experience. When we carry unresolved pain or unmet needs, we unconsciously attract situations and people who echo them back to us. This is not punishment. It is compassion in disguise. The universe, like a patient teacher, places these mirrors before us until we learn to see clearly. Each encounter is a chance to change the story inside. When you meet the same type again, pause. Do not rush to judge or run away. Instead, ask gently, what is this teaching me? What part of me have I not yet faced? Maybe it is the fear of abandonment. Maybe it is the need to control or the habit of ignoring your own feelings. These repeated meetings are soft knocks at the door of your heart. Will you open? Breaking the cycle begins with awareness. To notice the pattern is the first step toward freedom. When you see the dance you've been part of, you gain power. You no longer repeat it unconsciously. This awareness invites kindness toward yourself. You did not create these patterns to suffer. They grew out of past pain, out of survival. Be patient with yourself. Healing takes time, like the slow unfolding of a lotus in the dawn. Buddhist teachings offer tools to help. Mindfulness is one. It means paying attention to your feelings and thoughts without judgment. When you feel the old pain rise, instead of pushing it away, you welcome it with gentle curiosity. Compassion is another key, not only for others, but especially for yourself. When you see why a pattern has held on, you replace frustration with understanding. The difficult type becomes a sacred teacher. Sometimes breaking the cycle requires courage to set boundaries, to say no when something harms you, to choose silence when words feed anger, to walk away when a path no longer serves your growth. This courage does not come from force or anger, but from a deep respect for your own peace. The Zen way is gentle but firm, like a bamboo that bends with the wind but does not break. When you begin to change your response to these recurring patterns, the universe listens. The same type may still appear, but your reaction changes. You become less entangled in old stories. Gradually, new types of people enter your life. Those who support your growth, who reflect your emerging peace. You start to attract relationships that honor your true self. This is not magic, but natural law. Just as a garden changes when you clear the weeds and plant new seeds, your life blossoms when you clear old habits and nurture new ways of being. Remember, breaking the cycle is not a one-time event. It is a path walked step by step. There will be moments of struggle, moments of doubt. This is the human journey. The important thing is to keep walking with awareness and kindness. When you stumble, return to your breath. Return to your heart. Return to the stillness where wisdom grows. Each repeated meeting is an opportunity to practice patience. Each familiar type is an invitation to deepen your understanding of yourself and others. In this way, your relationships become a sacred practice, not just connections, but teachers on the path of awakening. With time, the cycle loosens its hold. Patterns lose their power. You are free to choose how to respond, to love, and to live. And in this freedom, you discover the true nature of connection, not attachment, not expectation, but presence. Presence is the gift of each moment and each meeting. When you meet someone, truly meet them, not as a reflection of your past, but as a unique soul walking their own path. This openness brings peace. It dissolves old patterns naturally, like mist under the morning sun. So, when you see the same type again, greet them with gratitude. Thank them for the lesson. Thank yourself for the courage to learn. And keep walking your path with a heart open to change, to love, and to the endless unfolding of life. This is the Zen way. This is the path to breaking the cycle. Letting go, moving forward. Why some people leave. Sometimes people leave. They walk away quietly, where storms tear them from your life. One day they are everything, and the next day they are a memory. And it hurts. It confuses the heart. It leaves you wondering what went wrong. But in the eyes of Zen, there's a quiet truth that brings peace. Some people are meant to leave, and that too is part of the path. Letting go is not easy. It pulls at the deepest roots of our being. When someone we care for walks away, it can feel like a piece of us is missing. The absence speaks louder than words. Silence can echo more than sound. And yet, as painful as it is, letting go is part of growing. The seasons change, the river flows, and so must we. Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent. All that arises fades. All that is formed dissolves. No moment stais forever. No person is guaranteed to remain. This is not a harsh truth. It is a freeing one. It reminds us to hold with open hands, not clenched fists. It reminds us to love while we can, but never to cling. When someone leaves, it is not always because something failed. It could be that the lesson was complete. The karma between you and them reached its end. Like a train that only travels so far together, your journey may continue in different directions. And that's okay. It doesn't mean the connection wasn't real. It means it served its purpose. We often ask ourselves, why did they go? Why did it have to end this way? These questions rise from the mind, which seeks control. But the heart, when still, knows a deeper truth. Not all endings are mistakes. Some are medicine. Some are doors. Some are mirrors showing us where we still need healing. You see, sometimes a person leaves so we can find ourselves again. Their absence becomes the very space where self-discovery begins. In their silence, we learn to hear our own voice. In the emptiness, we learn to sit with our pain. And from that pain, we grow strong. Not hard, but soft in the way that bamboo bends without breaking. Think of the tree in autumn. Its leaves fall, not because the tree is dying, but because it is preparing for a new season. The falling is natural. The letting go is necessary. The bare branches are not empty. They are waiting. They are gathering. They are resting. So when someone leaves, think of it as your autumn. Let the leaves fall. Trust that something new is coming. People come and go for reasons the mind cannot always see. Maybe someone entered your life to teach you love, and maybe they left to teach you strength. Both are lessons. Both are sacred. Both shape who you become. Sometimes, the people we love the most are not meant to walk with us forever. And sometimes, the people we lose are the ones who leave the deepest gifts. But we only see those gifts when we stop chasing what was and open ourselves to what is. The pain of parting is real. Buddhism does not ignore it, but does not let us drown in it either. It teaches us to sit with the sorrow, breathe with it, Allow it to rise and fall like waves. The heart may ache, but in that aching, we are purified. We are taught patience. We are shown where we still hold on too tightly. You're not broken because someone left. You are not unworthy. Their choice was theirs. Your healing is yours. And in the quiet after the goodbye, there is a soft light, difficult to see at first, but always present. That light is your path. Step by step, you'll find your way again. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means no longer needing things to be different than they are. It means you can love someone without needing them to stay. You can honor the past without being trapped in it. You can carry memories without carrying pain. When a person leaves your life, allow yourself to feel everything. Cry if you need to. Be still if you must. But do not chase. Do not cling. Let the space open. And in that space, let grace enter. Trust that life, in its quiet wisdom, knows what it is doing. Some people are chapters, not books. Others are bridges, not homes. All are part of the story, even the painful ones, especially the painful ones, because they shape the soul. They polish the heart. They prepare you for the people who are still to come. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back with softness instead of sorrow. You will remember them not with bitterness, but with peace, because they were part of your becoming. In the silence left behind, may you hear your own truth. In the emptiness of absence, may you find your wholeness. And in the passing of people, may you awaken to the eternal truth. Nothing is lost, only transformed. Breathe deeply. You are not alone. Every goodbye carries within it a hidden gift. One day, you will open it. And when you do, you will understand why the leaving had to happen. Until then, walk gently, trust the journey, and let your heart remain open. Because the ones who are meant for you will not leave too soon. And those who have gone, they left when their time had come. Nothing more, nothing less. Just as it was meant to be. Compassion without attachment. Buddhist tools for relationships. Sit with me now just for a while. Let the noise settle. Let the thoughts quiet down like dust in still air. Let's talk about something that so many struggle with. How to love without clinging. How to care without controlling. How to be with others fully without losing yourself in them. We live in a world that teaches us to hold tight. From the moment we are young, we are told to keep close what we love, to protect it, to fear its loss. This creates an invisible rope of fear around our hearts. We don't want to lose people, and so we hold. We grasp. We try to keep them near, even when their path is no longer ours. But the more we hold with fear, the more pain we create. In Buddhism, there is a different way, a gentler way, one that allows us to care deeply without becoming prisoners of our emotions, one that gives space to love and space to let go when it's time. It's called compassion without attachment. Now, don't misunderstand. This does not mean you stop loving people. It does not mean you become cold or distant. It means you love more clearly, more wisely. You care for others while knowing they do not belong to you. You allow them the freedom to change, to leave, to be who they are, not who you want them to be. Think about this. How many times has your suffering come not from love itself, but from a fear of losing that love? How often have you been hurt not because someone left, but because you couldn't accept their leaving? Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. And he was not just talking about material things. He meant our attachment to ideas, to people, to expectations, to how things should be. Love is not the problem. It is the clinging, the grasping, the needing that brings pain. To truly practice compassion without attachment, we must begin by seeing the people in our lives clearly, not as extensions of our desires, not as characters in the story we want to write, but as beings on their own paths. They have their own lessons to learn, just like you. They will make choices you don't agree with. They will change, and they may not always walk beside you. When we cling to someone, it's like holding a bird tightly in our hands. The more we squeeze, the more we harm it. But if we let the bird rest in our open palm, it stays by choice, not by force. That is the essence of compassionate presence. This doesn't mean we don't feel hurt when someone leaves. Of course we feel. We are human. But there's a difference between grieving with love and drowning in grief, because we believe they were ours to keep forever. Everything in this life is passing. People, moments, feelings. When we accept this, we begin to suffer less. This is not an easy teaching. Many people misunderstand Buddhism and think it tells us to not care. That is not true. Buddhism tells us to care more deeply, but without conditions. It teaches us to say, I love you, and I will continue to love you, even if you walk away. It teaches us to say, I will be kind to you, even if you are unkind to me, because your behavior does not control who I am. This kind of love is not weak. It is strong. It takes great courage to love without holding, to offer kindness without needing anything back. And this kind of love has no chains. It's a flame that burns quietly, but steadily. Let me ask you, have you ever loved someone so deeply that their happiness mattered more to you than your own desires? Have you ever set someone free, even when your heart wanted to hold on, because you knew it was right for them? If so, you already understand this teaching. You've lived it. Compassion without attachment also means we do not try to fix people. We often think love means saving someone, healing them, making them whole. But that is not your job. Everyone must walk their own path. You can walk beside them. You can offer your support, your presence, your care. But you cannot carry them, and you should not lose yourself in the process of trying. The self that tries to fix others is often avoiding its own pain. So look inward. Ask yourself why you're drawn to someone who hurts you or someone who won't stay. Ask not from judgment, but from quiet curiosity. That is the start of wisdom. In Buddhist practice, we are taught the four immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. These are the foundations of all healthy spiritual relationships. They help us love without fear, without ownership, without demands. Loving kindness is the wish for others to be well. It asks nothing in return. Compassion is the wish for others to be free from suffering. It meets pain with softness. Sympathetic joy is the happiness we feel for others when good comes to them. It has no jealousy. Equanimity is balance. It allows us to remain steady even when people come and go. These are not just words. They're practices, and they change how we relate to others. The truth is, people will come and go from your life. Some will stay for years, some for only a moment. But each person is a teacher. Each person gives you a chance to practice. When they're kind, you practice gratitude. When they are difficult, you practice patience. When they leave, you practice letting go. And through all of it, you remain rooted. You don't lose yourself. You don't become bitter. You don't close your heart. Because the open heart is not weak, it is wise. You see, we're not here to possess people. We are here to walk beside them for however long the path allows. We are here to learn, to give, and to grow. When we love in this way, life becomes lighter. We no longer fear loss in the same way. We know that nothing real can be taken from us. And we know that true love is never about holding, it is about honoring. So when someone enters your life, welcome them with presence. When they stay, walk with them in joy. And when they leave, bow in gratitude for the time you shared. Nothing was wasted. No one was random. You're meant to meet, and you're meant to learn something in that meeting. This is the heart of compassion without attachment. This is the quiet power of love without chains. And this, dear listener, is the freedom that Buddhist wisdom gently offers to those who are ready to love with both courage and peace. In the quiet moments of life, one begins to see more clearly the people who surround us. The ones who come and go, the ones who stay a while, and those rare few who become like the roots of a tree, deep, steady, and nourishing. These are the ones who matter most, not because they fill our days with noise, but because they nourish our spirit. As a Zen master watches a gentle stream, he sees how the water flows around stones and branches without struggle. So must we learn to flow with the people in our lives, not holding too tightly, not pushing away, but embracing what is essential and letting go of what is not. The people who truly belong in your inner circle are not always the ones who speak the loudest or bring the most excitement. They are often the ones who bring calm, who listen without judgment, who support your journey with kindness and patience. This inner circle is not chosen by chance. It is shaped by the quiet energy that flows between hearts. It is shaped by mutual respect, deep understanding, and a shared path toward growth. When you feel safe to be yourself, when your silence is held without pressure, when your flaws are met with gentle acceptance, these are the signs of true connection. In the Buddhist way, attachments can cause suffering. But there is a difference between clinging and holding dear. Clinging binds the heart with chains. Holding dear is like holding a flower, gently, with care, aware that it may fade, yet grateful for its beauty. It is natural to desire closeness, but wisdom shows us that not every closeness is beneficial. Sometimes, people enter our lives to teach us how to let go. Sometimes, their presence stirs unrest, and that unrest is a mirror reflecting what we must release inside ourselves. So the question arises, who should stay in our circle? Not everyone deserves a place there. But how do we decide? The answer is not in words or judgments, but in the feeling of the heart's ease. When someone's presence brings peace, encouragement, or understanding, they belong near. When someone's presence causes repeated pain or drains your spirit, it is time to step back. This is not a rejection of the person, but an act of care for yourself. To hold this wisdom is not always easy. The heart may resist, the mind may question. Yet, with mindfulness, one learns to discern between the voices of fear and the whispers of truth. Remember, the inner circle is not fixed. Like the seasons, it changes. Some will come and go, and that is natural. But some roots grow deep and strong, supporting us through life's storms. Nurture those roots with patience and love. Offer yourself to them with honesty and openness. These relationships become a refuge, a place where the soul can rest and grow. In the stillness of meditation, you may see faces appear and disappear, each with their own purpose. Some are teachers, some are students, some are companions on a brief journey. Each connection has its season. Holding on too tightly, expecting permanence where there is none, only invites suffering. Let the circle be a dance of giving and receiving, a flow of energy that honors freedom and respect. The Zen master teaches, be like the bamboo, strong but flexible. Bend with the winds of change in relationships, and you will not break. Within this practice is great freedom. Freedom to choose who enters your sacred space, and freedom to let go when the time is right. When you understand this, you begin to see people as part of a great unfolding, a dance of souls weaving in and out of your life, each with their own reason, their own lesson. Your inner circle then becomes a sanctuary, a place of healing and growth, not a cage. Cherish the ones who walk beside you, but do not fear the ones who walk away. Both are teachers, and above all, cherish yourself, the heart that loves, the soul that seeks peace. For the quality of your inner circle begins with the quality of your own being. In simplicity and patience, wisdom blooms. In gentleness and clarity, true connection grows. The path is quiet, yet profound. Walk it with an open heart and clear eyes, and you will know exactly who belongs by your side. The grand design, how every connection moves us closer to awakening. In the quiet stillness of this moment, allow yourself to breathe deeply and listen. Life is not random. The people who come into your world are not accidents. They are threads in a vast, invisible tapestry, woven by a hand wiser than any of us can see. You may have walked through years feeling alone, wondering why certain souls appeared in your life and why others vanished like mist. You may have asked yourself, why this person? Why now? Why me? These questions are sacred. They lead you toward understanding the great design that shapes our existence. Imagine life as a great river flowing toward the sea. Along the way, many tributaries join this river. Each person who enters your life is like one of those tributaries, adding their unique waters to your stream. Sometimes, the waters are calm and gentle, flowing peacefully alongside your own. Other times, they stir and churn, challenging you to navigate the rapids with courage and wisdom. But always, their coming is meaningful. Each person carries a lesson, a reflection, a chance to awaken the deeper parts of yourself. This awakening is the true purpose of all connection. It is not simply to bring joy or sorrow, but to move your soul toward greater clarity, compassion, and freedom. In the teachings of Buddhism, we learn that every encounter is a mirror. When someone enters your life, they reflect something about your own heart. They reveal your attachments, your fears, your kindness, and your strength. When you look deeply, you see not just the other person, but yourself. This mirror may sometimes show a gentle face, and sometimes a face you do not want to see. But both are gifts. Both are invitations to grow. The gentle ones teach you about love and patience. The difficult ones teach you about forgiveness and letting go. You may have experienced relationships that felt like burdens. Perhaps they caused pain or confusion. Yet, through the lens of Zen wisdom, even these difficult connections are sacred teachers. They remind you to release control and to embrace the impermanence of all things. Impermanence is the great truth that everything changes. People come, people go. Like waves upon the ocean, relationships rise and fall. When you accept this, your heart softens. You learn to cherish each meeting without clinging, without fear of loss. This acceptance is freedom. It is peace, and it is the path to awakening. Awakening is not some distant goal. It is present in every moment. Every conversation, every glance, every shared silence carries the seed of awakening. When you meet someone, no matter how brief the encounter, you have the opportunity to touch this truth. You might wonder about timing. Why do some people appear exactly when you need them? Why do others leave just when you think you need them most? This is the wisdom of the grand design. The universe knows your heart better than you do. It sends the right teachers at the right times, even if their lessons are hard to understand in the moment. Trust that no meeting is wasted. Even those that seem painful or confusing serve purpose. They clear the path for new growth, like pruning a tree so it can blossom anew. And as you walk this path, notice how you change. Notice how you begin to see others not as obstacles or prizes, but as fellow travelers on the same journey. This shift in perspective opens your heart and deepens your compassion. Compassion is the greatest gift you can offer yourself and others. It allows you to forgive mistakes, to embrace imperfections, and to love without conditions. Through compassion, you understand that everyone carries their own struggles, their own stories woven by unseen threads. So cherish your connections, even the fleeting ones. They are sacred moments in the unfolding of your soul. And remember, you're also a thread in the lives of others. Your presence matters, your kindness matters, your lessons matter. As you become aware of this interconnectedness, you step into a greater truth. We are all one. Separate bodies, separate stories, but one river flowing toward the vast ocean of awakening. Let this truth settle in your heart like morning light. Let it guide your actions, your words, and your thoughts. Let it be the foundation of your relationships going forward. And now, as this series comes to a close, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Who have you met along the way? What lessons have you learned? How have these encounters shaped your understanding of yourself and the world? Thank you for walking this path with us here at Wisdom Woven. If these words have touched your heart, please like this video, share it with those who might need it, comment your reflections below, and subscribe to our channel. Your presence here is part of this great tapestry, and your voice enriches this community. Remember, every person you meet is a gift. Every connection, no matter how brief, is a step toward awakening. You are never alone. You're always exactly where you need to be. May your journey be filled with peace, insight, and love. Namaste.